All right, let's talk about this Oklahoma City Thunder Golden State Warriors game. I got a whole bunch of clips I'll show you of some of the rigging, a lot of the numbers that I talked about in my previous couple videos were all over this game. I mean, just absolutely insane. So please, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and at least watch my last two videos. It'll make even more sense if you go back like the last 5 videos probably, if you don't understand what I'm talking about. Also, I'm just going to simplify this video. I'm still going to mention some of the stuff, but there is a lot more that goes along than what I'm going to mention. It's just a whole lot to remember. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, first off on this game, before I even show you any clips of the game, interesting that the score, the Warriors ended up with 121 points, just like the last time that they beat the Thunder. They beat the Thunder on February 27th, 227. I mean, look what the score adds up to. 106 plus 121, 227. Just like the date that they beat the Thunder last, they also scored 121 points in that game. I mentioned a lot of the 12 and 21 connections in regards to the Warriors and how it connects to the 37th and 73rd prime numbers, and also Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and whatnot. But also the word revelation in gematria equals 121. And the reason that I mention that is because the Warriors are originally from Philadelphia. The book of Revelation mentions Philadelphia. It's one of the 7 churches in the book of Revelation in the Bible. Revelation equals 121 and also 49 in gematria, identical to Warriors. Warriors equals 121 and 49 as well. Also interesting, the Warriors they were chasing the Chicago Bulls streak. They're still chasing the Chicago Bulls record. There's tons of coding to the Chicago Bulls. Just like in the Super Bowl and whatnot, in the NFL, it was all about the Chicago Bears of 1985. Chicago Bulls equals 49, just like Warriors. Also, in regards to the number 227, so the score of this game, like I said, total 227. The last time they played was on February 27th, 227. But the 49th prime number is 227. And I've made a ton of videos on this last year about how it's associated to pi. Also, 227 Gregorian is the same as Valentine's Day on the Julian calendar. And Valentine's Day is a special day for whatever the reason they love that day. Last year, Golden State won the NBA Finals exactly 122 days after Valentine's Day. Golden State in gematria adds up to 122. Just want to show you here, Golden State equals 122. A whole bunch more connections with that as well. Also, when I said it's connected to pi, if you take 22 divided by 7, it gives you 3.14. And one of the big things I talked about in my last video was about the number 11. Steph Curry was born on March 14th, which is Pi Day, 314. And last night the game was on 3/3, 11 days before Steph Curry's birthday. The Warriors also won, giving them a record of 55-5. And if you go to the prime numbers, the fifth prime number is 11. Also, the 11th prime number is 31. The word Curry equals 31. Oakland equals 31. The Warriors picked up Anderson Varejao 31 days after Steve Kerr came back on January 22nd, 122. They scored 122 points that game. Lots and lots of other connections with that. Klay Thompson is even number 11, drafted the 11th pick in the 2011 draft. Lots of 11 connections. I've been seeing lots of wins with 11. So that being said, let's take a look at some of these clips of the game last night. They just randomly put the strangest clips up all night. So anyway, right here the score was 5-3 with 8:53 in the first. The ball, I can't remember what happened, but they had to throw the ball and bounce. There was 11 seconds left on the shot clock. Then Curry ended up making a basket, making the score 5-5. So the play began with 11 on the shot clock, and then it was 5-5, and 5 is connected to 11. Also, 227 to 3-3 is a span of 5 days, so the last time they played the Warriors was even 5 days ago. I'm just going to play the clip as well because the reason it stuck out too was because Curry did like this awesome behind the back move to get around Durant, and it was a good play or whatever. Also, in regards to the score was 5-3. Lots and lots of 53 coding to the Warriors. They're even chasing the Chicago Bulls record and whatnot. The Chicago Bulls, they won their 44th consecutive home game exactly 53 weeks after their first game of the streak. So, and they also won it on 4-4, getting their 44th win. The Warriors are in their 44th season. Steve Kerr, their coach, came back on the 44th game of the year where they won with 122 points. On 122, it was also the same day that David Blatt got fired. David Blatt got fired 122 days before his birthday. So the Warriors got their 44th win 44 days before the NBA playoffs begin. Also want to point out that it's also a span of 6 weeks and 2 days. The NBA Finals start on 6/2. The date numerology of that is also 44. 6 plus 2 plus 20 plus 16 equals 44. It's also a span of 1 month, 13 days. The last time that the Warriors lost a home game was to the Chicago Bulls on January 27th of 2015. The Bulls scored 113 points. Then their streak began on 131, which can also be written as 31-1, 311, the backwards 113, which is also a span of 1 year, 1 month, and 3 days before the Warriors got their 44th consecutive home streak. And it's also all about Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. Michael Jordan in Gematria equals 113. Kobe Bryant even equals 113. So a number around success. Also, just want to throw this in here really quick. Del Curry is the dad of Steph Curry. Also a famous NBA player, mostly known for being a Charlotte Hornet. Michael Jordan owns the Charlotte Hornets. The Bulls' 44-game win streak, they lost their 45th game to the Charlotte Hornets. He even currently works for the Charlotte Hornets and whatnot, so lots of other stuff with that that connects to even the Broncos and the Panthers who are from Charlotte. And anyway, look at Del Curry's birthday, June 25th. His birthday is exactly 3 months and 11 days after Steph Curry's birthday on March 14th. And Steph Curry's birthday to the day the NBA Finals begin is a span of 11 weeks, 3 days. Once again, the 113. I also mentioned the 219 back-to-back championships in Gematria equals 219. That was also the day that they lost to Portland by 32. Portland, of course, had Anderson Varejao, and they dropped him. And then on 2/22, the 53rd day of the year, the Warriors picked up Anderson Varejao, and they just lost to the Portland Trailblazers on their 53rd game of the season. So like I said, they pick up Varejao on the 53rd day of the season. They lost to Portland, where he came from, on their 53rd game. But they picked up Varejao 18 days before they play Portland again on 3/11. Varejao's wearing number 18 for the Warriors. They also picked him up exactly 3 months and 11 days before the NBA Finals begin. Okay, one more 113, and then we'll move on here. But the 95-96 Chicago Bulls with the 72-10 record, look when their first game of the season was. It was on 11/3 of 1995, and they played the Charlotte Hornets. So also, the number 19, for whatever reason, stuck out in this game a little bit. I don't know the complete significance of that yet, but I do know that I talked a lot about Space Jam last year, and Space Jam is actually in its 19th year of existence right now. And that movie all is about Michael Jordan coming out of retirement and then going to play for the Bulls and win again and all that. But anyway, Curry here makes his second three of the game with exactly 3:33 on the clock. And it's just, I don't even know. That was just a coincidence that I started the video at night with 19 on the shot clock too. So the ball goes in exactly 3 minutes and 33 seconds in the first. And that sticks out because I've talked about how the Warriors are connected to Philadelphia. Philadelphia just turned 333 years old, the same day that the NBA season began on October 27th. Also the day of the first game of the 111th World Series, the day Back to the Future ends in 1985 where the Royals win the World Series. The Royals win the World Series in 1985 on that day. And then the Royals won the World Series again this year. But when Curry makes this three, it also gives the Warriors 22 points, a super significant number in this game that I think is the reason why the Thunder lost. Because the night before, the Thunder lost to the Clippers and they blew a 22-point lead. The date numerology of yesterday was 42 and also 22. So if you take 3 plus 3 plus 16, it equals 22. The day after the Warriors blow a 22-point lead. Also interesting, it says Clippers end with a 26-5 run. Yesterday was the Thunder's 62nd game. The first time they played the Warriors this season was on February 6th, 2-6, which also just so happens to be 26 days before they played on 3-3. The Warriors won, and they got their 26th home game win this year. Also, the 26th prime number just so happens to be 101. The word Philadelphia in gematria equals 101. The Warriors, also the day before, the Warriors' part owner died in a car wreck, which just reminded me of Monty Williams, their assistant coach. His wife died in a car wreck on February 11th, which was exactly 22 days before 3-3. Monty Williams is age 44. His wife was even age 44. The word car crash, if you write out the words car crash in gematria, it equals 44. Also interesting, somebody in my comments pointed out the Aubrey McClendon, the part owner guy who died, his initials are AM. A is the first letter, M is the 13th letter, 113. Also, they lost to the Clippers by 22. Clippers in gematria equals 44. So then, at one point in this game, in the first quarter here, the Warriors call a timeout when they're down 23-22, but they call the timeout with exactly 2:22 left. Doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but when they come back from commercial, the first play of the game, they throw it into Anderson Varejao. Varejao gets fouled and goes to the line, but remember they picked up Varejao on February 22nd, 2:22. And I'll just play the clip here. Also, before I even show the clip, I guess, right when they come back from commercial, they show this stat about the Thunder that they started 2-6, but since they are 8-13. So anyway, I wanted to point out that Varejao scored right after the 2:22 timeout, and he was picked up on 2:22. He also gets fouled by number 11, Kanter. Just wanted to point that out because in the last game, Kanter scored 11 points. He wears number 11. Also in the game that they played on 3-1, Kanter was 11 of 11 field goals. I mean, it was the game after they played the Warriors where he was scored 11 points, then he was 11 for 11 in the next game. On 3-1, the 11th prime is 31. The Thunder score 131 points. Oklahoma equals 31 in gematria, so interesting. So the next clip I got here, Mo Spates, number 5. Remember, 11 is the 5th prime number, but he makes the 31st point for Golden State with exactly 11 seconds left on the shot clock. How it's done, I don't know. It goes in at exactly 11 seconds, but see ya in part 2.